Hey guys, welcome back to a delayed episode of Talking WWE. Yeah, I know I said to a few other people that I was going to get it done by this weekend, by last weekend, but I had some things pop up. I had some homework I had to work on my for college, some math homework and a few other things. So I got caught up with that, and I didn't have time to check out Smackdown from last week. So that's why I'm going to give my thoughts on last week's Raw and last week's SmackDown right now. And I'm going to give my thoughts on Raw, this week's Raw, the Raw that aired, more than likely probably aired yesterday if I post this video on Tuesday, or tonight if I post this video tonight, like late tonight, late night on Wednesday. Because right now I'm doing this video, it's almost midnight, so by the time I probably do post it, it'll probably already be Tuesday, technically. So anyway, so the Raw that happened last night, I will do a separate video about it when I actually check it out. But anyway, just, these are my thoughts on Raw and SmackDown from last week. Anyway, Raw, the blah 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 blah. If I can fucking talk. The episode that aired on February 2nd, it had this big announcement from Triple H that was going to shake and change the WWE universe. It's going to just change the shape, and it's going to be a huge announcement. And before even before he and Stephanie were even able to announce the announcement itself, Roman Reigns comes in and says there's no controversy and so forth. And then Seth Rollins comes in, and then Daniel Bryan comes in. And pretty much what happens is Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, they find a way to pretty much force Roman Reigns to agree to be a part, basically to agree that he's going to have to, still has more to prove. That he's going to have to face the winner of a match between Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins at Fastlane. And the winner of that match, at Fastlane gets to go on to WrestleMania. Because Triple H was saying he didn't really win it fairly because The Rock came in and helped you, and he's not even on the roster. So, Roman, you need to do this, even though Roman didn't have to say yes, but he did. And mainly I actually didn't mind this development because it led to a good match. And also it made it so the people who were upset about the results of Royal Rumble, the people that were upset that Daniel Bryan got so eliminated so quickly, the people that were upset that Roman Reigns was pushed too fast and wasn't ready, now he has a little bit more build up. And I, for one, personally, I would prefer Roman Reigns to still go to WrestleMania and face Brock Lesnar. But I'm open to Daniel Bryan, though. And I wasn't open to him before. And because SmackDown, the casket match, didn't do much for me. But his match against Seth Rollins, that was a pretty impressive match. And I have to admit, I like this Raw. I think it was one of the better Raws I've seen in a while. And I did find myself cheering for Daniel Bryan. I was like, yes, 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 yes. It was a good Raw. But anyway, so that's the stipulation that was set up. And so Seth Rollins faced off with Daniel Bryan in the main event in this episode of Raw. It was worth it. It was worth the wait. It was a good match. Now, after that announcement, you had the next match was Roman Reigns faced the Big Show again. It was deja vu. And this time the Big Show wins because Seth Rollins interferes. And so Roman Reigns loses. So that's pretty much it. It was a very quick match. It didn't leave much of an impression other than Roman Reigns got screwed. He was about to beat Big Show again until Seth Rollins comes in and messes around. Him and J&J Security, end up interfering, and Big Show then takes the win. Um, Then Curtis Axel came in and started acting like a dumbass, saying that I was never eliminated for WrestleMania. I was never not WrestleMania. I was never. He is gonna be. He's never gonna make it in WrestleMania. But I was never eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and I deserve a spot at WrestleMania. I deserve to face Brock Lesnar. It's just ridiculousness. And so Dean Ambrose comes in and kicks his ass, which is fun. And then Dean Ambrose comes in and announces that he wants a shot at the Intercontinental Championship against Bad News Barrett. Then you had a tag team match between the Ascension and Goldust and Stardust. And it was another match that wasn't much. It was just, they already wrestled on SmackDown, and here they wrestled again. And this time there's drama where something happens and they end up losing because Goldust took the rematch into his own hands by dragging his brother, you know, to make the tag, and then Stardust held his, own, so so it's just, so Stardust held his own for a little bit, but then the Fall of Man happened and he got beat, and this led to some controversy where Stardust was upset, and backstage, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, is trying to calm down his family member. He's calling him Cody, and Stardust is all like, "Don't ever call me Cody. My name is not Cody. Don't you ever call me Cody again." And then he gets upset, and it starts this drama where there's a rift that's forming now between Goldust and Stardust. So there's probably going to be some match later between Goldust versus Stardust or something. I could care less, really. So, and the match wasn't much either. The Ascension have still done nothing to impress me. John Cena then comes in, and he comes in and welcomes back Eric Rowan, Dolph Ziggler, and Ryback. And, but then, Stephanie McMahon comes in and ends up basically ruining it, placing them in individual matches. And the first of the matches is Ryback versus Luke Harper, which I thought was a good match. The reason why I thought this is a pretty good Raw, I mean, actually, I thought it was a good Raw. Not pretty good. I thought it was a good Raw. Not great, because, a great Raw is a Raw that every match is good. Not where there's a handful of matches. But this is a good Raw because there's more than just two matches I liked, so that's a huge plus. The Big Show match wasn't much versus Roman Reigns. The tag team match between Stardust and Ascension was completely forgettable. But this I like this matchup. Ryback and Luke Harper. Ryback ends up winning. The big guy wins, and wasn't expecting that. And he gets a win that helps give him some momentum. Which he needed after his return. And I like Ryback. He kind of reminds me of Goldberg a little bit. A little bit of Goldberg, but he doesn't have the same. He's a big guy, but he doesn't have that just intensity that Goldberg has. That's just ferocious. Goldberg just had just watching some old clips of Goldberg, man, he had the most devastating spear I have ever seen in professional wrestling. It looked like he just destroyed people with the spear. He was so. Goldberg was Brock Lesnar. Goldberg was the Beast before Brock Lesnar was the Beast. So in a way, Brock Lesnar is the son of the Beast. He's not the first Beast, man. Goldberg was the Beast before Brock. And but I mean, yeah, Goldberg's just impressive. But he kind of was limited in a lot of areas. He wasn't a good heel, and he wasn't necessarily the greatest on the mic, and he didn't have a lot of personality. But he was just a force. And it's kind of like Brock. Brock doesn't talk that much either. That's a whole other story. But anyway, Ryback though, he's got this kind of he's kind of out there, and I think I like that. He's kind of out there. He's kind of. He makes me laugh. I don't know what it is, what he does, but he makes me chuckle a bit because he's just kind of silly a little bit. He doesn't take himself super seriously. He takes out Luke Harper, And both big men showed some good moves and, some good in-ring movements and some good, what am I trying to, maneuvers and so forth. And Ryback showed, he has a lot of power. He's a very powerful, strong wrestler, and I think he deserves a bigger push in the future. I really do. Because WWE is kind of missing that right now. That big guy who can, do the power bombs, who can do all the really heavy lifting. And he's just ferocious. And I think he just needs to work a little bit on, some other few things and with his game. But other than that, I think Ryback, I think he has a bright future in the WWE. So anyway, so Ryback defeated Luke Harper. They both showed some good agility. Um, Cesaro. Then you had the next match with Cesaro versus Jimmy Uso, and it was not Jimmy Uso. Okay, I made a mistake in my last episode where I said it was Jimmy Uso versus Tyson Kidd. It was actually Jey Uso, so my bad. This was actually they're twins, so you can't blame me for getting confused. But this time it actually was Jimmy Uso versus Cesaro, and Cesaro won. And it was a watchable match, but it was ultimately forgettable. Cesaro, though, I don't know why he's just a mid-carder guy and just stuck as a tag team, as part of a tag team with Tyson Kidd. Because Cesaro, it just seems like this is a little bit beneath him in terms of his talent. I mean, I remember they were pushing him pretty hard, and then something happened. He got buried or something, and now he's just struggling to get out of the mid card or even below that. He's at the tag team, competitor. It's just this guy's talent. He's so talented. He's so strong. He's just so athletic. It's just one of those things. Like, why is he stuck with Tyson Kidd versus the Usos? Like, why is he stuck doing this kind of thing? He's too talented to be doing this. But I guess WWE thinks there's something wrong with him, and I think it might be because his mic skills aren't the best, or he doesn't really have the greatest personality or gimmick. But that's not his fault. I mean, they didn't give him much. He doesn't really have a character. WWE didn't give him a character. He's just this guy who is very athletic and very strong and very agile and has some really amazing in-ring potential and is really good in the ring. I mean, he's really strong. I mean, the stuff where he takes people for a ride, picks them up by their legs, and swings them around for a while. It's pretty impressive. He's a very athletic wrestler, and I don't know what it is. Maybe he needs a new gimmick. Maybe he needs something. Maybe WWE needs to give Cesaro a character. It's kind of hard for him to have a character and have charisma and to be good on the mic when they don't really give him a character. All I remember was him who was kind of a heel, but then that didn't really work out. I don't know. Whatever it is, WWE needs to find something for Cesaro that sticks because this guy's too talented and too good as a technical wrestler to just be stuck as a tag team partner for Tyson Kidd for a potential tag team title match. This guy's too good for that. So I mean, he really does. I honestly think he's better than Rusev. I think he should have had more of a push than Rusev did. Rusev has one thing about him that I like. It's his agility. He's a big guy who can do high kicks and stuff. But other than that, I think he's an incredibly overrated wrestler. And his gimmick sucks. It's just a rehash of Nikolai Volkov. And they did that in the night. Didn't they do that in the 90s? Like, they already did that. This is like the third or fourth time WWE is rehashing the evil Russian wrestler storyline. It's about time to hang that shit up. But anyway, Cesaro ended up winning with an uppercut on Jimmy Uso. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he was really impressive in the match. He's the reason why that match was watchable for me, but at the same time was kind of forgettable because it was okay. But it's nothing I remember. But I do remember Cesaro, though, because I thought he was impressive. But other than that, like, that's what I'm saying. Jimmy Uso didn't impress me as much. The next match, though, I thought was a really good match between Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler, and it went on back and forth, in the show off versus the Mind Eater or whatever. I don't know what his name is, but his surname is. Bray Wyatt, he's not the most, I would say technique-wise, he's not the most well-rounded wrestler. But he's got something. He's got a great charisma. He's got this great personality. He's got a great character, and he does promos. He does really well. I think he's a good actor. I think that's what really helps him too. I think he's actually genuinely a good actor, and he makes these promos really work. These surreal sort of um, out there, eerie. That's the word. He's eerie. He's an eerie wrestler. But Dolph Ziggler has really, I thought honestly, after Survivor Series, he was really starting to finally come into his own, and he was getting on a roll. Then he got fired, and he was building momentum, and he got a raw deal at the Royal Rumble. And I'm not one of those people that think he sucks. I really don't. I don't necessarily care for his hairstyle, but that's me personally. I mean, it's like he just said, "Hey, I like Sid Vicious, so I'm just gonna steal his hair." Um, and when I think of Dolph Lundgren. I don't think of Dolph Ziggler. And what's funny about Dolph Ziggler, he looks like Kurt Russell. He looks like he could be related to Kurt Russell, and so that's kind of weird too. You got a wrestler who kind of looks like Kurt. It looks like Kurt Russell, and he's got Sid Vicious's Psycho Sid's hairstyle, and I'm like, this is weird, but he's got a great drop kick. The Famouser, his signature move, yeah, he kind of botches that move. That's something he needs to work on. But other than that, I think he's a good technical wrestler. I think he's got a lot of, talent. Maybe he needs to kind of change a little bit of his gimmick. I don't know. I mean, it is kind of gay, I have to admit. I mean, there's other people call it gay, and I can admit it's a little bit gay. I mean, what's up with the belt on his ass? I mean, what's the point of that? You know? But other than that, I thought it was a good match between him and Bray Wyatt. I thought it was a good back and forth match. It was fun to watch. They both showed their talent in the ring, and it was a very entertaining match. And ultimately, Bray Wyatt won, but it took him a lot more work to win than he thought. And then what I thought Bray was going to destroy Dolph Ziggler, but he held his own. And believably. So I really like that match. So that was two matches, not really two matches in a row because the Cesaro Jey Uso was watchable. Jimmy Uso. I almost did it again. Jimmy Uso was watchable against the Cesaro, but this is a good match. So I like this match just about as much as the matchup between Ryback and Luke Harper. Now, after this match, there was a match that I didn't even get to see the end of it because the link that I saw Raw on that I found online, this Raw it cut out between the match between Paige and Alicia Fox, and so I didn't even know who won until later when I watched Smackdown. So uh, Paige wins, kind of does a quick roll up on Alicia, and then they were originally friends, but she turns on Paige, and the Bellas come out and spray paint black, just the spray black on her chest because it's like we'll give you a spray tan, and it is what it is. Paige, though, I can see why she's getting over with the fans because she's unique, she's different, and she's pretty talented in the ring, and I like Paige. I have to admit, I do like Paige. She's my type of gal, so to speak. So, yeah, kind of getting that. She's definitely getting that horror goth sort of crowd in her favor. But not only that, I'm not even really a goth guy, but I definitely would say she's attractive, and she's also really good in the ring, and I want her to win the Divas Championship. So we'll see what happens. And I also like her theme song. I mean, it starts out as like "Scream for me," I like that. It's something different in the Divas than just these cookie cutter cupcake glitter girls. It's something different, and that's nice to see. I wish I was able to watch the whole match though, But, you know, it is what it is. Then you have a match between The Miz and Sin Cara. Sin Cara is pretty much WWE, hey, Rey Mysterio is no longer wrestling. We need another Mexican who can do high-flying stuff. Sin Cara, here you go. You'll never come close to being in the same league as Rey, but which is kind of like, why are they kind of doing this? But at the same time, all right, it's okay. But pretty much Sin Cara's a jobber, but he ends up beating The Miz because The Miz now ends up getting involved. Pretty much what the Miz is doing now. He's making Damien Mizdow just be a personal assistant and not be the stunt double anymore. But the crowd is so into Mizdow, and he's so over right now that the crowd's chanting his name, and he decides to disobey Miz's orders and get up and imitate the Miz at one point during the match, and that distracts the Miz, and it's a quick pin, surprise pin by Sin Cara, and he loses, and so he gets pissed off at Mizdow, and that's it. And I could care less about what happens to The Miz because I fucking hate The Miz. Okay, I was being nice earlier, but I hate The Miz. The Miz fucking sucks. The Miz is a shitty wrestler. The Miz, the only thing he has going for him is his looks, and that shouldn't be enough to get him, still have a job in that WWE. I don't know why he still has a job. I don't know why he still has matches. I mean, when his stunt double is more over than he is, that's not a good thing. He's not even a good heel because I don't even give a shit about The Miz. I don't care about The Miz. He's not even a good heel because I'm like, he sucks. The Miz sucks. If you're going to be a good heel, you have to actually be a good wrestler and be talented and actually be better than mediocre. At best, Miz is just that. Mediocre. The M in his name should stand for mediocre. Or meteor shit. Because he's a fucking pile of meteor shit. I hate The Miz. The Miz fucking get the fuck off of WWE for all I care. I'm sick of his face. I'm sick of his gimmick. I'm sick of The Miz. I didn't like The Miz when he showed up in WWE in the first place. Started hogging the spotlight, and he was a less than talented wrestler in my eyes, and he ended up winning championships, and I mean, fuck The Miz. So, that's my uncensored thoughts on The Miz. Fuck The Miz. Miz fucking sucks. Anyway, so he fucking lost, and that's good. And then you have a match between Eric Rowan and Rusev, and the match never happened. The match never started because Rusev just came in and just started beating the shit out of Rowan. Which was like, great, okay, wonderful. Fucking Rusev. I figured out why Rusev also, I don't really care for Rusev. It's because I can't take him seriously, and I'm not intimidated by Rusev. And you know why? Because every time he gets angry, and he makes an angry face, he looks like John Belushi. I'm not intimidated by Bluto from fucking Animal House. Literally what he does, he goes, ah, and he looks like fucking John Belushi screaming. I can't get that out of my head. And I'm like, I'm not intimidated by John Belushi. I'm ready to laugh my ass off at John Belushi. And if I see John Belushi screaming like he's screaming in a samurai skit on SNL, I'm going to laugh. I'm not going to be intimidated. My blood isn't going to curdle. So Rusev not only is a bland, generic-ass wrestler who's a big guy who can move, I'll give him that. And he can do some high kicks. I'll give him that. But his character sucks. And he's not intimidating to me because whenever he screams and yells is supposed to intimidate me, he looks like John Belushi. So that also doesn't help much matters either. And I don't know if I'm the only one. I really don't know if I'm the only one. So let me know, folks, if you feel the same way I do. Like, he looks like John Belushi to me. I can't be intimidated by that shit. He looks like it's like Elwood Blues. I'm not intimidated. Come on. It's Jake Blues. He's Jake Blues because Elwood is Dan Aykroyd. Look at Jake Blues. I'm not intimidated by John Belushi. But anyway, fuck Rusev. That's another wrestler I don't fucking care for. He's undefeated. Why? That's another thing. It's like Rusev has never been counted out. He's never been beaten. And I'm like, why? Why has he never been beaten? I don't get why he's so unbeatable. I mean, there were other wrestlers that I bought it. I mean, I bought that somebody like Umaga or whatever. Yeah, Umaga was better than Rusev ever was. Umaga, I thought, was a more unbeatable, unstoppable force than Rusev. Or, you know, I don't get it. I don't get why he's so unstoppable. He's not even that big of a guy. Like, he's big, but he's not like really, really super tall. At least he doesn't look like it. I mean, it just doesn't. I don't buy it, and I'm pretty sure Cena's gonna win. He's gonna face him at Fastlane. He's gonna be the first one to beat him. It's gonna be kind of the Hulk Hogan versus the big and the King Kong Bundy type thing, but without the steel cage. But anyway, it's just and without the blood too. I don't care about Rusev. I don't care what happens to Rusev. I don't care if he wins, and I don't care when and if he loses. So I don't give a shit about the storyline. It's old news. It's been there, done that. Oh, it's an evil Russian. Great, and his hot blonde trainer. So it's basically Ivan Drago. Just rip off Rocky 4 too. It's basically it is what it is. It's Ivan Drago. But without without Dolph Lundgren. So there's no Dolph Lundgren here. It's this guy who looks like John Belushi when he's screaming, and he doesn't even look Russian. He looks like a Middle Easterner guy. There's no offense to people Middle Eastern, from the Middle East, but he doesn't look like he's Russian at all. And then his confidant Lana, she reminds me of Brigitte Nielsen from Rocky 4. I have expect her to start talking on the microphone and saying, Rusev, whatever he hits, he destroys. I mean, it's like a throwback. It's like, what did somebody go back in time in a time machine, take the DeLorean away from Doc Brown and go back into the mid '80s and steal Rusev and bring him into 2015? This gimmick is so dated. Anyway, I don't know. It's just, I don't give a shit. I really don't care. Then you have the main event, which was between Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins. It was a good match. Back and forth. Seth Rollins, of course, it looked like he might get the upper hand, but then, and J&J Security are causing all kinds of, bullshit. And Big Show actually comes in out of the ringside. And so then it's like, the odds are really stacked against Daniel Bryan. But they've been that way from the beginning. And so then he comes in and he really puts on a great match. He takes on, taking on Seth Rollins one-on-one, and then when things kind of get out of hand, J&J Security tries to get involved. He flies off the top rope and knocks them out, and then knocks out Seth Rollins, leaps off the top rope, leaps through the ropes and hits him outside the ring, but then the match looks like it's going to turn, and Daniel Bryan's going to lose to Seth Rollins. But then here comes Roman Reigns, who, the Big Show's trying to get involved maybe too, but then Roman Reigns comes in and just spears the Big Show. And then he's getting ready to spear Seth Rollins because he said, earlier, he's like, I don't get mad, I get even. And that's one thing that Roman Reigns has really improved upon, his mic skills. I think he's getting a lot better, and he's getting better and better every week. And so, boom, he's going to take out Seth Rollins, but Seth gets away, and so Roman gives a spear to one of the J&J Security guys. I think it's Jamie Noble. It's either Jamie Noble or Mercury. And then Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, so the distraction still looks like Seth Rollins is about to get the upper hand on Daniel Bryan. But then Roman Reigns comes in and gets a Superman punch on Seth Rollins, knocks his ass out. It doesn't really knock him out because it's not really a knockout punch most of the time, but it dazes him enough so that Daniel Bryan has enough time to set up the running knee, hits Seth Rollins, gets the pin, and Daniel Bryan is going to Fastlane to face off against Roman Reigns for who's going to go to WrestleMania and face Brock Lesnar. And I like this setup. I think it's a match I'm looking forward to because it's two faces versus each other. It's not a face versus one of the Authority members. It's two faces. And that's going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting dynamic, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted. I'm like, Daniel Bryan has really started to win me over lately, and I can see why people like him, and I'm starting to really enjoy him too. I mean, it's just he's a lot of fun. I like, he's definitely very talented. You've seen the backflips he does. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, he can do the stuff off the top rope. He's good with his legs and with the kicks, and um, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing what he could do against Brock either. But at the same time, I don't know. But I really also would like to see what Roman Reigns can do against Brock Lesnar, because I like Roman Reigns too. I'd say but then again, I don't. It's like I'm really conflicted. I'm like, I don't know. I'm probably not the only one in the WWE fan base who are like, I don't know. Like flip a coin. It's like, ugh. It's like I don't really don't know at this moment. I mean, it's like if there was a match back in the day between my two favorite wrestlers when I was growing up, Sting and Hulk Hogan, and to go to WrestleMania to face off with this, to face some guy, for the championship, who's holding the championship. I'd be like, I don't know. Like, I really like Sting, but I like Hulk Hogan. It's the same sort of thing. I'm like, I don't know who. I really don't. I don't really have a favorite. I just, so that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be one of those like, I guess I win. Either way, I win because one of my favorite current wrestlers, ends up headlining WrestleMania. But at the same time, I really do want Roman to win, so all the work that he did doesn't go for naught. But at the same time, I don't mind Daniel Bryan winning. So it's like, ugh. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at Fastlane. So that's Raw. That was Raw from last week, and enjoyable, good Raw. I mean, there were a decent amount of matches I liked. The main event, the match between Ryback and Luke Harper, the match between Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler. I liked that match. So that's 3 matches that I liked. Other stuff wasn't the best. I mean, frickin' Rusev being dominant again, just for the sake of being dominant, because it's part of the story. The Miz, who sucks dick, ended up losing. The announcement, which was pretty big announcement. Cesaro versus Jimmy Uso, match. The tag team match was pretty lame. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Raw. Now I'm gonna get to Smackdown. Now, I think Smackdown, like, since it was Thursday, that means that it was the 5th. I'm just making sure I got the right. Yeah. All right. It's actually 15, not 14. All right. So there's the SmackDown results. You started out. I mean, there was like the Miz had a special guest, Miz TV, which I don't get. Miz even sucks as a host. It's like the Miz TV. The Miz TV sucks too. I'm glad Roman Reigns canceled it with a Superman punch, because it sucks. It's a shitty poor man's Piper's Pit or a poor man's highlight reel. It's a shitty show. Fuck the Miz. I'm sick of the fucking Miz. I'm sick of talking about the Miz. And I'm gonna have to talk about the Miz some more because he's in a match with Roman Reigns in this episode. So Dana Bryan and Roman Reigns were supposed to have a talk with Miz, but Roman Reigns wasn't going to have any of the Miz's bullshit and knocked him out, which is good. He can shut the fuck up. Because nobody wants to hear him anyway. Or see his show. Next match was Dolph Ziggler and Ryback versus Golden Stardust. It was alright. But what happened is the drama. Stardust got mad at Goldust because he called him Cody again, and so he gave up on him and let Goldust just get shell-shocked by Ryback. And Ryback and Dolph Ziggler get the win. Ryback and Dolph Ziggler were a pretty decent team together, and I wouldn't mind seeing them do some more tag team action. I really wouldn't. I would love to see that, actually. If they can't make it as headliners by themselves, I think they make a hell of a tag team. So anyway, yeah. So that was a decent match. That was one of the best tag team matches I've seen. They say it's the best. I would say it's the best tag match I saw from this week, because the other matches were completely forgettable. So I like this one. You know, I'm glad it wasn't the Ascension again because I was about to really cry bloody murder at that. I'd be like, oh fuck it, what the fuck? What is this bloody bullshit? Fucking Bullocks, fucking Ascension again. I'm sick of the Ascension. Then you had Dean Ambrose versus Kurt Axel, and Dean Ambrose just kicked his ass. And I like Dean Ambrose. You know, I'm really starting to war. I even liked him anyway. I've always liked Dean Ambrose, actually. Lunatic Fringe. He's definitely, like I said earlier in my last video, he's definitely taking inspiration from Roddy Piper. And that's fine. We could use more hot rods in the WWE today. So I want him to get that Intercontinental match against Bad News Barrett. Because he came on after the match and said that, bad news, you're not going to, you know, compete for my Intercontinental title because you're too much of a lunatic. It's just like, so he's a lunatic. That means that you're a fucking coward, Bad News Barrett. I got bad news for you. You're a fucking pussy. How about that? Why don't you know, of course it's scripted and everything, I know that, but still, I can still say it. Because, I mean, seriously. You're too much of a lunatic. You don't deserve a match with me. No, you're fucking scared. That's why. Because you're a little bitch. That's why. Bad news. Got bad news for you. Maybe you should call yourself Bitch Ass Barrett. Because that's more like it. Bitch Ass Barrett. Because you're a bitch ass kid who's afraid of Dean Ambrose. But anyway, so there's that match. It was okay. Fandango versus Adam Rose. Adam Rose, I don't understand why he's wrestling. His fucking guy liner and his stupid fucking, you know, what is it? I don't remember what the fuck their names are. Adam Rose's fucking rosebuds. Fucking rosebuds. He's supposed to do a trust fall and he falls through them and he gets mad at them and punches them. He reminds me of Russell Brand. And if somebody reminds me of Russell Brand, that's not a good thing. Russell Brand's the last person you want to be reminded of when you look at a wrestler. That's what I think of, is Russell fucking Brand. Fuck Adam Rose. He sucks. He's shit. He's not even a good jobber because he's not fun to watch. His rosebuds are annoying, and his gimmick sucks, and he just doesn't even look like he's even that competent in the ring. He's not even mediocre. He's got nothing. I don't remember anything about this guy. Other than he sucks. And then we have, you know, Fandango, who I think he's athletic. Fandango has got talent. He's got a shitty gimmick. Even his finishing move in The Last Dance, he ends up beating Adam Rose, by the way. Was actually pretty impressive. It was a leg drop off the top rope. But the way he did it was pretty clever because he aimed his leg at the head and knocked somebody out that way. He's definitely talented. He's got the physique. He's got the talent. He needs a better gimmick because Fandango is a shitty gimmick. Because Fandango, I think of, wasn't that the name of a movie ticket website? Fandango? Fandango.com. I think isn't that the name of a movie ticket website? I can get my movie theater tickets at Fandango. I could be. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it is, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Fandango movie tickets. I mean, I think of Fandango movie tickets when I think of, you know, that word. I don't think of a wrestler. And his gimmick is shitty. It's like he's really into dancing. Like he's a cast member from, you know, Dirty Dancing Havana Nights or something. Like he's one of the Dirty Dancers. It's like, what? Why? Dancing and wrestling? I mean, last time we did shit like that was Disco Inferno. That guy sucked ass. We don't need any more of that. This is a shitty gimmick. He needs to come out with a better gimmick. Just maybe is a regular, just normal name and no gimmick, and show his talent because he's got something. And WWE is screwing him with a really shitty gimmick and giving him matches against fucking Adam Rose and his rosebuds. Fuck Adam Rose. Just about as useless and just about as shitty of a wrestler and a personality as The Miz. Speaking of the fucking Miz, I'm sick of the fucking Miz. Anyway, Roman Reigns faced off with the Miz because the Miz actually announced to Roman Reigns, like, "Come on, coward. You're a coward. You knocked me out. I was gonna ask you some hard-hitting questions. You couldn't take it, so now I want a match with you." And the announcers were trying to make it sound like it's a great match. It wasn't. It was a very forgettable match because the Miz really doesn't. The Miz has nothing. Like, even his moves are just generic. And Roman Reigns ends up defeating him. The only thing about that match that I didn't mind was Roman Reigns. The match was watchable because of Roman Reigns. It wasn't memorable because of The Miz. Because all it ended up being watchable for me was when Roman Reigns kicked his ass. And that was pretty fun to watch. But that's not memorable because is it really much of a victory if you beat the Miz's ass? This is a guy who lost to Sin Cara last on Raw. The Miz is about this close, and I think he already is pretty much a jobber, and that's where he deserves to be anyway. I should be at WrestleMania. No, you shouldn't. Oh, I should be. You're just like Curtis Axel. You just are a little bit of a longer running character for some reason, and you still have a job. Where he's consistent. Yeah, he's consistently shitty and consistently mediocre. And I can't think of one person that I know of that actually likes him. Fuck the Miz. Next. Rusev versus Eric Rowan. Fuck Rusev. Fuck it. Rusev sucks too. Angry John Belushi. Rowan showed he actually got to start the match this time around and was kicking Rusev's ass. And I really thought Rowan was going to win. But no, they have to keep the whole undefeated storyline for Rusev versus Cena, where Rusev is going to get beat by Cena. If he doesn't lose to Cena, I'll be shocked. But, at the same time, I don't care. Because, like I said, I don't give a flying fuck about Rusev. So, then you had Paige versus Alicia Fox again, and Paige ended up winning and beat Alicia Fox. So, wasn't much. Bray Wyatt had another message to give. And I forgot to mention this, he had a message, another ominous message that he gave on Raw. It sounded like he was either he was talking to Sting or he was talking to The Undertaker. It sounded like it was a message to either The Undertaker, Sting, or maybe Kane. It sounded like it was some sort of message to somebody like that. And I'm curious about what this is building up to. I really am. Oh, the Reaper is his nickname. Okay. And then you had the main event. Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins and J&J Security. 3-on-1 handicap match. Which is actually surprisingly good match. I'd say I'd probably say it was the best match on SmackDown. This SmackDown was pretty lame. I gotta be honest, it was pretty lame SmackDown, and actually last week's SmackDown wasn't very good either. So I'd say they're equally. This one's a little bit better than last week's, but not by much, because I had the tag match with Dolph Ziggler and Ryback versus Goldust and Stardust that I enjoyed all right. And then you have this main event. But other than that, I care for fucking Rusev versus Eric Rowan. If Rusev sucks. The Miz, fuck the Miz. And the main event though was fun. Daniel Bryan went out and actually, did the impossible and defeated J&J Security and Seth Rollins. He didn't need help with Seth Rollins. He didn't need help from Roman Reigns this time around. But of course, he wins fair and square, and then Kane has to come in and be a dick, and then ends up doing a choke slams him not once but twice, and then Seth Rollins curb stomps him. And there's supposed to be this big message like, yeah, you won't make it to Fastlane. I'm like, yeah, it's bullshit. He'll make it to Fastlane. But anyway, yeah, it was a good match though. It was the best match of SmackDown. Good back and forth to it. a lot of fun to watch. Daniel Bryan take on J&J Secure. The scene where the sequence where he's high kicking both J&J is pretty. It was a crowd pleaser, and then he beat Seth Rollins. That was good as well. Um, yeah, that was SmackDown. I don't know what to say about the show except one really good match, the main event, and one above average tag team match, and the rest is crap. So Raw was definitely better. But anyway, I really don't know what to say about this week's Raw and SmackDown, except I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and more to come soon when I review this week's Raw. And once again, I'm sorry for the delay. I got busy, but I'm gonna schedule things out better in the future. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later. See ya.